Flosstube friends, my name is Catherine and this is my channel Stitching in Costume. Welcome into my sewing room. If you've never been here before, this is where I talk about my stitching and all of the little creative things that light me up. And if you are returning, welcome back. I love you very much. Okay, so let's see, here we are. This is November 7th. It's a Monday. By the time the upload gods let me put this on YouTube, it could be later in the week. So I hope that everything goes well. And I'm timing myself so I don't go too long today. That helps with the uploading and all that business. So let's see, this is Flosstube number 23. And what I would love to talk about first are some friends. So I haven't really had friends around me before that are stitchers, and I've got a friend that's a seamstress, but nobody that really does cross stitch. And I wanted to give a little shout out to my new Stitchy group. It's called For the Love of Stitches, and they are on Facebook, and it's for the greater Sacramento area, so Sacramento and the outlying areas. I'm a little bit further out than that. It takes me a little bit of time to get there, but I have been to one meetup so far and it was so much fun. I walked into this library. Okay, so let's just say, first of all, this group was started by a wonderful lady by the name of Chris Rogers, and she had written into Pam and Steph of Just Keep Stitching, using the hashtag Stitch Harmony. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it's where they talk about how to connect stitchers around the world, basically. And so people write in and say, listen, I live in a place that's remote, or I just don't have any stitching friends, I'm new to this area. And so Pam and Steph will put a little call out there, show you where they are located, and if you're living close to them, then you can get in contact with each other. So long story short, I was watching and Chris Rogers had done the hashtag, and so they talked about her, and I knew that she was kind of in my area, but it was still a little bit too far away. And I think I was watching Tiny House Stitcher Angie, and she, I believe, was talking about it. So I thought, they have a Facebook group now. I'm going to go on and check it out. So it turned out that because she lives in and around Sacramento, she opened up this group to go all around this area that we live in. And it just worked out that we can all kind of triangulate in different places, and sometimes it's closer to me, sometimes it's not, but it's all good. I mean, I would drive an hour, no problem, to sit and stitch with some friends. So I walked into my first meeting. I've only been to one. I walked in, and it was in this beautiful library, and I looked in the back, and there was a table, or a couple of tables of people sitting there stitching. I said, ooh, I got so excited. So I walk in, and I was late, because I was coming from a little bit further away, and we had dogs to walk and all that other business that happens in the morning. So I walked in late, and it was just like surreal. Angie, the tiny house stitcher, gets up from her table, hello, and she grabs a chair and puts it right next to her because it was really crowded. So I got to sit and stitch with her and all these other wonderful ladies who I had the best time, and a lot of laughter, and there was a lot of different stitches. So I do a lot of samplers, and I was working on Ann Flat, which I'll show you in a minute. And yeah, it was so much fun. I'm looking forward to seeing all of them again, and as many people as I can meet. And I know Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot is in the group as well, and Michelle Hudson. So I'm like completely starstruck. It's going to be so much fun. And on that note, one of the ladies there, Pam was so sweet. She was working on this hands-on design pattern. And it's called Christmas Collection Chalkboard Ornaments. And she had actually brought some finished ornaments for Angie to finish. Angie is a beautiful finisher. And so I said, oh, those are just so beautiful. And I have never stitched anything like this. she gifted me this pattern. Thank you, Pam. That was so kind of you. I'm so excited to do it. I still need to find some fabric. I think I have some 25 count Lugana, which may not be quite right, but it's black. At any rate, I'm going to be doing one of these for Christmas. I'm really excited. So again, thank you, Pam. That was so kind of you, out of the kindness of her heart. And she also sent me, let me see if I can grab them really quick, these beautiful little crocheted flowers. And there's that one, and then that one. So I'm gonna put those on project bags. So I actually was invited by Barbara, my friend Barbara the Raspberry Stitcher, to come and stitch with her group called the Remote Stitchers. And they're all working on Antong Uffendell. And she asked if I would come by and, just stitch with them, show them my finished project, and talk with them a little bit about Anne and all of that. So I was so thrilled to be asked to do that, and I had the best time with them. There was a little enabling went on, and I'll show you that in a bit, but it was all good. It was all in a really good way. Really enjoyed meeting those ladies and getting some time to stitch. And I can't remember what I worked on at the time, but I was just so busy yik-yakking with people that that was a total blast. So thank you, Remote Stitchers. I had a great time. And thank you, Barbara, for inviting me. Also invited by Susan Standley, the awesome, wonderful Susan Standley, to come and talk about stripes with her. So we did a Flosstube special edition last week. And if you haven't checked that out, please go watch her channel and check it out. We're just yakking. I was saying, I'm not an expert on textiles by any means, but I'm a nerd who likes to geek out on costume and fabric and things like that. So we had a really good time, kind of peeling back the layers of history of stripes. It was really fun, and thanks, Susan, for asking me to do that. I had so much fun preparing for it, and I had a lot of fun with you, always talking to Susan. She is just the most wonderful, lovely person. Okay, so let's see. Let me jump into what I have been doing. I'm going to get to my stitching in a second, but I did want to mention at the end of this video, I'm going to put up a short video of some video and some photos I took of the wonderful Guape exhibit. It's a couture costume extravaganza, if you will, at the Legion of Honor in San Francisco. My sister and my daughter and her mother-in-law, we all went together, drove to San Francisco, and it's words can't describe how absolutely incredibly amazing the embroidery, the sparkle, the use of Swarovski crystals, several dresses there I think Katie Strachan would be wearing. They were just absolutely encrusted with the biggest, crystals, and it was just so beautiful, and all the embroidery. Anyway, if you're interested in that is going to be at the end of this video. It's about 7 minutes long, and I had to do video because you can take still pictures, but when you get a video and you get movement going with some of that costume work and all of the sparkles, they really light up. It's like watching a fireworks show. Another thing that went on is my husband, who I'm very proud of, went and actually made the summit of Mount Whitney. So Mount Whitney is the highest mountain in North America. I could be wrong about that, but it's pretty darn high, for over 14,000 feet. So he made it up in one day and down one day, got pretty sick, he thinks it was food poisoning. He got to the top of the mountain, and he started to come down the mountain and started to be very sick. But he made it down in one piece, and I'm very proud of him. I had him take a couple of packs of needles with him. So I have these needles for my cross stitch that have been all the way to the top of Mount Whitney and back down again. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's cold, and Here in California, we're finally getting some good rain. Yes. And some cold weather. So I'm pretty jazzed about that, which is why I'm all in my cozy flannel and tucked up in my warm sewing room. And okay, there's the weather report. Now I guess I can move on to some stitching. I am going to start with this finish that's kind of staring me in the face. So it all started from Whitgo, and if you are familiar with Whitgo, it's Jessie Marie Does Stuff, started it, and it's a way to make progress on some of your whips. And I have a lot of whips. I haven't even done a whip parade, which I probably should do. It would probably scare me into finishing things faster. So what popped up for me for the month of October was to finish and flat. Now why I put finish and flat on my board, I'll never know. I think I thought that I would have already been almost done with it, and why not just finish it, right? I was nowhere near finishing, so I got it out and I started to really push on it. Now the way I did and flat, and let me just show you really quick. It is a pattern by Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, and this is what it looks like. I did the PDF version, so I was watching Brenda and Laura, and they talked about it. I zoomed over and I got it, and this was last year. And I, at the time, was stitching Jessie Watson and Ann Morrison, so I was doing my fair share of alphabets that were eyelet stitched. So this is what I did. I just went, what if I do that? So that's what I did. I just took out all of that beautiful alphabet, and it's gorgeous. I almost wish I would have kept it in because, well, whatever. I wanted to push a little bit more and finish something. So that's what I did. It's an almost finished because I'm still not sure what I'm going to do here. I did not put her name in there because I did modify it so heavily. I also used my own colors. It's hard for me to resist. You can see from the pattern, they've got a little bit more subdued colors, especially on the tree. But this is what I ended up doing. Alrighty, I did a lot of different colors on all of the flesh tones of the angels and Adam and Eve. I also made Eve's hips a little bit wider. That was a happy accident, I think. It just kind of happened. I evolved into that. I changed the fruit on the tree. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be. It was very light in the pattern, but I wanted it to be super bright. And I haven't filled in that top portion. I'm not sure if I'm going to on the tree. And you can see I've left off the name. I'm not sure how I'm going to personalize it. I almost feel like I want to put my parents, make it for my parents, or put a little saying, but it's not really a lot of room. I can't really do a complete sampler verse clearly. I'm not really sure how I'm going to finish it, but I'm going to finalize it and get it framed before the end of the year. So that is my finish and flat. I'm very happy with it. I love Jacob's charting. It's so clear and easy, and I love being able to have PDFs and just run and grab it. And these are the colors that I used, and they're mostly DMC, if not all. There's a couple maybe specialty colors in there. I just kind of grabbed whatever I felt like doing. Okay, what red? I'm always wondering. 816, and there was one more. Oh, this one is really pretty. This one is a Victorian motto, and I don't remember. I clearly got rid of the, oh no, here it is. I moved it over. It's called Pink Petunia, which I used for the apples on the tree. So one finish. Okay, where am I? I'm trying to watch my time. So that was one with Go. Let me show you I'm going to show you my book of days here. So, and this will kind of spur other conversation, but I'm just going to do a quick peek. That's all my fun Halloween stickers, and there's a tag from the Fillmore Bake Shop. My daughter went to San Francisco before we had gone together and brought me back some princess cake from Elena B's beautiful bakery, and it was delicious. So yes. So yeah, let's see what else I worked on in October. I had his eyes on the sparrow. I'm going to go ahead and show you that. So I had that on my board for 5 days. Where is she? I didn't iron it because it came up again for me for this month, the month of November. And I really love this one. This is by Heartstring Samplery. Now I have the old version of the pattern. So it's, you know, that smaller, I have to really, I have to make working copies and tape it all together. I'm very old school that way, especially with this big of a pattern where things kind of overlap and meet. And I really want to get the placement of that Adam and Eve and the tree really well. So let me show you where I'm at. I did complete the whole border, but I've had that done for a while. And this is on a piece of 32 count. Picture this plus Heartland, and I'm using 2 strands of floss, which, yeah, not really a fan of that, but it looks really beautiful. And that's where I am on it. I worked down the side. I did a few more motifs right here, a couple more flowers, and then I came down and I went across and I started on, I did Eve and I started on the tree. Let me see if I can see what you're seeing. And coming up the middle. So I'm getting the placement on the branches down below and also on the fruit, and I'm going to start, I'm just going to finish up that tree at the very least this month. So this is going to stay out on my, it's on my working stand that I stand up on, and I have it in Q-snaps. Really pretty fabric, and I love this pattern so much. I'm also doing, consider the lilies as well. So, yeah, 2 strands of floss though. I forget sometimes, and I'll start working on it, and then I'll realize that it's actually 2 strands of floss, and I have to kind of backtrack and not pull it out. Sometimes, you know, and this is a little trick that I use sometimes if I do stuff like that, because there's another project that I have going where it's 2 strands of floss. And I forgot, and so what I'll do is I'll just go back and I'll double cross the top layer. You know, if it's a big section, I would probably go ahead and redo it. But if it's only like 8 stitches or so, and then I'm like, oh, okay, then I'll just go back and double cross the top layer, and it works out fine. I'm going to talk a little bit about, oh, this one. So this is in my Christmas bag. I made this last year. Really cute fabric. I just made a little bag so I can make sure I knew where all of my Christmas projects were. And it's not like I have a ton of them going, but this one was something that I have seen recently finished. Blanking now, but I had this in my stash, and I really love how tiny everything is. Christmas miniatures. So I pulled that out, and I got a little finish on the house. And this is on a 40 count. Is it 40 count? Yeah. 40 count Dusty Road by Seraphim. And I use the DMC. Really pretty. Let's see if I can get it to be more. That's about where the fabric is. And what else did I do? Oh, I did another, and this is on an XJU design Grandma's Slip. And again, it's a 40 count. And I did the pear. There you go, you can see. Didn't iron it, but it's so cute. And I kind of fudged it. I used a little bit of their flosses, and then I kind of brightened up the green to make it a little bit fresher looking. I don't know how I'm going to finish them yet. Little ornaments for sure. And so there's that, and I'm probably going to do a few more out of that chart. I also have this in my, this one so much. Really can't wait to do this. I got this on eBay. Isn't that cute? Stockings and more. They're all so cute. Really like I really love the Santa. But I also love that. Of course, I have all those Blackbird design stockings, so I don't know. We'll see if I have time. There's another stocking here I'm going to show you in a second. Black Sampler November. Okay, so Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery started this last year for the month of November. Pick a sampler and do it in black. And it doesn't matter which sampler it is. It doesn't matter, you know, what the style is. Just do a black sampler. So I didn't really feel like starting anything big. So I found this one I've had in my stash. It's a freebie from Samplers and Santas. Let me see if I can get that on there. And it's called Miniature Sampler. And this is where I am on it. So this is a piece of, let me get it right, 45 count foxtail millet from Legacy Linen, and I got this I think on 123 Stitch, and that's where I am with it. I'm doing this with a week's coal, got a little Halloween tag there, and that's where I am on it. And that's, you know, maybe 2 days of an hour each. It goes really fast. I can finish it probably in another afternoon. It'll be done. And it's been a really fun stitch. I really enjoyed it. I like the teeny tiny 46 count. I love the Legacy linens. The hand of them, I've said it a lot, is fabulous. So I have quite a big piece of this, and it's so affordable. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it was way under $20, and that's quite a lot. Especially with the 46 count, I'll be able to fit quite a lot on here. So there we have Black Sampler November. I am participating. Yes. Let's see. And Flat, you already got. Oh, and Flat is on a piece of 37 count. I didn't say. 37 count Wild Honey. And this again is the Access Commodities linen. And it's a dream. It's a dream to work on. I almost feel like using this Wild Honey for, I'll show you in a second. Something else I'm going to start. Okay, let's go on. Another Christmas stitch I'm doing out of Home for the Holidays. Fabulous book. If you don't have this one, there's so many great things in here. I'm doing Christmas Garden. So I did all of the Blackbird stockings, all the sampler stockings I've shown before. I'll probably pull them out and show them at Christmas time a little bit more in depth. And Christmas Garden I started quite a while ago. And then I fell out of love with it. I'm back in love with it. Mine doesn't look anything like this. Or like, you know, a lot of people did the colors very muted. Well, the colors that are called for, I don't even think they would turn out to look that vibrant. If you saw somebody's finish of it, it looks a little bit more muted. So I wanted it to have a little bit more punch, which I did. I used my own little conversion here of the 4 colors I used were Cranberry by Classic Colorworks Belsois. I also have Queen Bee, which I wasn't really in love with, so I kind of pulled a lot of that out, but I left some of it in. That was not in there. And this is, it's an equivalent to DMC 420, but it was from Victorian's Motto Sampler, and it was for an Eliza Bell Cox. I don't know. I didn't buy the sampler Eliza Bell Cox, but I bought all the threads to go with it. I don't know. They're scattered throughout all of my threads. But it's basically DMC 420 is going to be the gold. And then I've got Classic Colorworks Caterpillar, and that is for the brown parts. And let me show you where I am on this. Getting close. That's where she is. So let me come in and show you. I mean, you can see I've pulled out a lot of the yellow that was up there, and I'm going to be redoing some of those motifs and all the little doodads that get spaced around in here. I came across the bottom. I started on this one, and I'm almost done with that motif. Working my way up. I worked those carnations up here. I just kind of popped around, and then I'm going to personalize it. I'm not really sure what I'm going to have it say at the bottom. I might just, you know, wimp out. I might just go with Christmas Garden, but I have other ideas in my head as well. So this is on a piece of Lakeside 36 count vintage pearled barley, and that's Christmas garden. I love it. And I love that, I kind of like that it's all, that you can really see a lot of contrast on it. But the fabric makes it look a little bit more muted just because it has a lot more modeling. Yay! I'm getting close. I might finish this year. I don't want to, you know, jinx myself. I'm enjoying picking it up. It's been a lot of fun to work on. I'm in the Christmas spirit now. I just want to stitch Christmas. So, which, you know, I'm not completely doing, which is okay. But I am doing a lot more Christmas things. Those little small things are a lot of fun. This is another Christmas Blackbird, Feliz Navidad. And I haven't worked a lot on this, but I picked it up the other day and started to work on it a little bit more. And I think it popped up. It didn't pop out on Whitgo. I can't remember why I picked it up. I missed it, so I picked it up. Let me see. I'm going to tell you in a second. It is on, sometimes I just write on the fabric. Hand dyed by Stephanie, toasted almond, 36 count. And I'm using all the called for flosses. I'll pull those out in a second. So I've been jumping around the alphabet at the top and working the border a little bit more, filling in the berries. And these are the wonderful flosses that I have. Oh, so pretty. I really, really love this one. Feliz Navidad. Again, won't be done this Christmas, but it's being worked on one stitch at a time, right? Alrighty, moving on. Okay, this is another Christmas. Okay, I've never shown this before because I was kind of ashamed of it. I have never done a mill hill. And I was watching Kitten Stitcher, this was a couple years ago, and she was showing this project by Mill Hill. What's it called? It's called Gingerbread House. It was like, you know, a sparkly, beautiful lure for me. When she held it up, I was like, oh, I like shimmed over. I found it, I think, on 1-2-3 Stitch. I can't remember. This was probably 3 years ago. And sorry. And so I started on it and I put it down because I had made mistakes on it. It was the type of thing, perforated paper, I'd never really worked on before. And I made mistakes, but then I thought, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's a gingerbread house. So all the mistakes are kind of like nestled up there somewhere, but it's snow and gingerbread. So I think it's going to be okay. I pulled it out this morning. I guess I have another mill hill, and I thought, you know, why don't you finish one before you start another one? So it has like all the beads, and it has a really cute little gingerbread man that goes on it. So that's another Christmas project that I'm doing, and I'm really hoping to finish that one by Christmas because I would love to have it on my tree. So, well, again, that one, it's not just 2 strands of floss with this perforated paper. Sometimes you use 3. And today this was one of those things where I started with 2 strands of floss and I realized I was I was supposed to be doing 3. So I just went back over the top of those couple of X's with another go round of 2 strands, and it's fine. It's going to be good. This is another mill hill I got. I found it at the thrift store for a couple dollars. Santa, he's so cute. Saint Nick. I think that's what it's called. Saint Nick. Saint Nick. So that one has like all of the beads. I showed that to my daughter today and she's like, oh, that one's cute. I said, it is. Why don't you stitch it? I want it for my tree. Okay, let's see. What else have I been working on? Another sampler. Ding, ding, ding. I love this one. This is Jane Stanwick's. And I've seen this on so many people's walls in their floss tubes, and I wanted it. It was on the Country Sampler, some walkthrough that somebody had done of the inside of the Country Sampler shop, and so this was on the wall. I really wanted to do it. So I've been working on it for a while. Let me show you. I kitted it up with my own color conversion. I just grabbed whatever I felt was close to the picture, and I used a Weeks Dye Works parchment 36 count. And this is where I am, 2 strands of floss over 2. So I am more than halfway. I have the alphabet to do, and that's pretty much it. That is what the border consists of, is just that blue outline. So I finished the house. Well, I finished all that lower part and moving my way up. Isn't it gorgeous? And if you're interested in any of the colors that I'm using, I'm happy to share this with you. Just send me an email, stitchingincostume@gmail.com, and I will share any of the information that I have. Let me tell you though, the Reds Currents is Current by Gentle Art. And the house, I used Cupid by Classic Colorworks. Has a little bit more variegation. And this blue, I can't get over this peacock blue. It's a Belsois. And that's what I'm doing, all of the outline and some of the numbers, or some of the letters up there. I know, I was going back and forth. Do I want to personalize it? Because she puts her family initials on that line above her name. And I thought maybe I could do my family. Oh, by the way, I'm a Patreon of Teresa Kogut, and I know a lot of people talk about her Patreon where you can sign up and you can, she does, it's amazing the amount of patterns she puts out to her patrons every month as a thank you. And I think I'm on tier 3. No, I'm on tier 2. And it's so good. I'm thinking about next year I might up it and see if I can go into tier 3 or 4. I also worked on Rose Cottage Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. This is on a piece of 36 count. Picture this plus Heartland. And that's where I am. I'm using the called for DMCs. It's got a great modeling to the fabric, and I think that red house looks great. I'm pretty sure I might have double crossed the top layer, so just did one thread and then did my X's, and then when I did my return and did that second leg of the crosses, I think I did it twice to make it stand out a little bit more without having to use 2 strands of floss, if that makes sense to you. And that's where I am using the called for DMC. I might have substituted 1 or 2 things, but all the main things, the reds are the same. So making a small amount of progress on that. I think that's all of my whips. Is that all my whips? Pretty sure. That's all the whips that I have going at the moment. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to go into, let's do some other projects that I'm doing. I'm going to talk a little bit about crochet. So, I mean, as far as like my cross stitch whips, that's it for now. If you're moving on, I love you and we'll see you next time. And if you're going to stay, I've got some crochet. I also have a costume that I'm working on that I'm going to share and talk a little bit about for Christmas time. So the crochet that I'm doing are granny squares, and I was inspired by Celeste Creates, and Lori Holt is doing a granny square along, so I jumped in with that, and I found this floss. Well, Celeste found this not floss, yarn. So I grabbed some of that, and this is called, I love this cotton. You can get it at Hobby Lobby. It's really affordable. I think it's like $3 a skein. So I got a bunch of different colors, and I started to play around with granny squares. I've never crocheted before. And let me show you. I've shown them before. What I was going to do was a bunch of different colors, and then I am using different colors, but I was going to do the outside borders in all the different colors and then just kind of mix it up. And then what I decided to do was to do the outside borders in white and yellow and then mix it up that way. I think I'm going to make it 5 across and 6 high. They're kind of big, so each one of these has 8 colors in it. And that is kind of, well, that's the palette. And I just grab it and work on it while usually this is what I do when I watch TV at night, because I don't really have to think very long or hard about it. I just pick it up and go. And I make mistakes, but the neat thing about crochet is you can just pull it out and start again. And it's very forgiving. I love the yarns. It's really soft and it's not really thick. I haven't used Lori Holt's chunky yarn. Chunky thread, I think is what she calls it. I couldn't get it. It was like sold out everywhere. But this is a good alternative. If you're looking to dive into crochet, I've followed Erica Arndt's. I'll link her below. I'm going to do a better job at linking. This time I didn't link anything. Or last time I didn't do a lot of links, but this time I will get my linking up. And Erica Arndt, she does really good tutorials on sewing and crafting. And so her granny squares, that was the tutorial that I followed, and it made sense to me. My sister had tried to teach me and I just couldn't grasp it. But when I could stop and rewind and go back, then it was a little bit more enjoyable and doable, right? So there are what I have so far, and there's a few more downstairs, but I have a long way to go on that one, and then I have to figure out how to sew it together. So I'll get there. The other project I'm pretty excited about. So I am costuming again. We are going to the Dickens Christmas Fair in San Francisco in a couple of weeks. So I have to kind of hustle on this a little bit more than I have been. I'm doing this look here. So it's from the 1840s, 1850s. So, you know, very often when I go to Dickens Fair, I'm either in a bustle dress or a hoop skirt, and I wear a lot of silks and stuff. I wanted to do something out of cotton for a couple of different reasons. I just wanted a different, more, what I thought, not dressed down, but not quite so like, you know, elegant silks and all of that. I wanted it to be a little bit more, it could be an everyday dress. And I can dress it up or down with the different accessories that I wear. I found this French General fabric online for a really affordable price. And so I bought 7 yards of it. I mean, it's only 45 inches across, so it takes at least 40. I'm going to be really eking out the skirt on this. I'll be using all of those yards. So that's what I'm going to be doing. What have I done? Well, my sister came over and helped me get the bodice figured out. So I'm working on that. I will probably finish up the bodice this week, and then I'll be starting on the skirt, and hopefully I'll have it done in time to wear it to the Dickens Fair, and I will post those pictures on Instagram when I get it finished. It's been a while since I've done sewing like that, and getting fit right, that's not easy, especially with those drop shoulder kind of things. I had to have her help me because I have very broad shoulders actually, and she had to kind of help me figure out how to cut in the armhole so that I could actually move my arms without looking like a T-Rex the entire time. So those are my little side projects. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've purchased here. I have been doing a little shopping, I have to say, and it's all kind of stems from this. Watching Flosstube and seeing all of the people that come back from retreats, and it's like retreat season right now. So I've never been to a cross stitch retreat. I've been to costume things, but not cross stitch. So I really want to go, and it's on my bucket list. I'm going to try to get in somewhere next year. I have big high hopes. So we'll see. Keeping my fingers crossed. But yeah, so people come back from these retreats and they have like this after retreat glow about them, and they have like all these incredible projects or a haul that they've gotten. And I have a little bit of FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. It is a real thing. So I've done a few purchases here to kind of make up for that. And I'm going to start off with this first of all. Okay, I wanted to say also, Lisa Prims on Greenway had asked, because I talked a little bit on one of her shows, Flosstubes. She talked about doing some stitching. I can't remember what the project was, but it involved quilting and handwork. And so I said, oh, I just got this really cool chatelaine. I went to Coloma, which is a town that's close to us. I live up in Gold Country, so Gold Country in California is where they first discovered gold in, I think it was 1848. And so the gold rush happened, and it happened around here. And so Coloma is a museum town, basically. It's kind of like how Williamsburg, Virginia is, the little town of Coloma. It's not as big as Williamsburg. It's like all these, outbuildings, and then there's a proper museum in it as well. And they had a living history day where they had reenactors that go out there and talk about the gold rush. They live on the property, or yes, on the property, and they pitch tents and they wear their clothing from 1840s, and so very often look just like that. I saw that pattern there a lot. And they do things like the crafting of the day. So you'll be walking around this encampment, and you'll see that the ladies will be tatting lace or lace making, and stitching, embroidering, things like that. So in the gift shop there, one of the ladies had donated a group of these, and they were all different colors, and it's a chatelaine. And it's all hand stitched. It has a little pillow on the end, and you can see all her beautiful embroidery that she's added, like a little crazy quilt pin cushion, and it's got a snap there, so I could take it off and put it on a table next to me if I wanted to, but it goes around your neck, and looks like that. They had all different colors, and I said, I'll take that red one. Came with the scissors. It was $25. Wow. It was well worth it. What a great deal. I mean, anytime I find things that somebody handmade, isn't that cute? Thimble. And she made the thimble and put the thimble in there. It's just a little, so sweet. So I have this, and this would be an easy project, right? And you could just go to town, do a little quilted piece that's long. It kind of goes down to your belly button, and you can embellish it any way you want. I thought it was just adorable. You could use wool felt on it. Well, she did for sure. So that was one purchase I did. I also went on to Colorado Cross Stitcher, and I ordered my Book of Days, and I went in like Sherry, and I had it spiral bound. I just went into Staples and asked them to do that, and I had them put a couple of extra pieces of paper at the end, just in case I wanted, put some stickers in there. Oh, showed you the patterns, but hey, it's great. I love working with my Book of Days, and I think the spiral bound is going to make a complete difference. It's not a ton of room to write down things, but it's just a way to keep track of my stitching and what I'm planning to do. Another piece of haul I got. I saw this on eBay, and I hadn't seen it before, and I finally just said, I'm going to get it. Jane Plenderleaf? Plenderleaf, 1838. Boy, I love those 1830s, don't I? And this is by Needlework Press. So pretty. I just want to start it immediately. Add it to the list of immediate starts. I was in I was in Walmart the other day, so I had to run in and buy like liquid bleach so I could start to starch my not liquid bleach. liquid starch. And so I could start starching my petticoats for Dickens Fair, and I found this. So of course I had to run in, and I was doing like the fastest shop because my husband had a doctor appointment. So I dropped him at the doctor's, ran to the Walmart, and I literally had 15 minutes of shopping time. So I was like supermarket shop where I was like throwing all the stuff into my cart. And I'm going to show you a couple of the patterns out of here. I'm not going to do a complete flip through, but it's got some really sweet little ornaments in there. There's a star ornament. Let's see, what else? This one, cute deer. I like that primitive deer up there. Oh, I like this guy too. And let's see here. Show you a couple more. That's good. I love that right there with the pot, and I love the one that says joy. That's going to be the first one I do out of this book. I also like the Scandi little sampler there. A couple more. This one's so cute. I love this for the colors. You know how fresh those colors are. So again, this is Christmas Ornaments, just cross stitch 2022 version. Ooh, look at the blues. Oh, so pretty. I'm all into ornaments right now because they're so satisfying to finish. Okay, let's see. Also from Sherry, Colorado Cross Stitcher, I had to throw this in, which is Cupid. I love Cupid by Classic Colorworks. I used that in the Jane Stanwicks. And then I got a Bristol linen that is a 46 count biscotti. What's it by? 46. Did I get 46? I sure did. Biscotti. I thought it was really pretty. It's very subtle. The modeling. I like the 46 count. It's not really that hard. I mean, for sure I've got to use magnification, but I use it anyway. I really love the way the stitches look on it. They look so tiny, dainty, sweet. So I don't know. Oh, I know what I'm doing on it. Also got this. Okay, this was inspired by Stacy 911 Stitcher. Pansy Patch Quilts, right? And it's Quilts and Stitcher, Little Red Schoolhouse Pin Keep 1862. So I think that with this beautiful 46 count linen, yes, we're getting there, and the Cupid, it's going to be pretty special. Sorry for the... I also got to look at Sherry sent a sticker. I can't wait to put that in my new book of days. Oh, so pretty. So that will be a start. When will it be a start? I'm not sure, but it's definitely, it's kitted. It's kitted. Okay, this one was an eBay find. Irish Sampler Pincushion 2. And she looked like she was kind of blowing out someone's stash. So if you're interested, it is on eBay. Windham 5. I'll flash it across here. Windham 5 is the eBay name of the seller. And there were quite a few of these where they were just the nostalgic needle. It looked like some old stash that somebody was selling out for someone else. I think it's a shop. But I mean, there's specialty stitches in this, but I looked at the pattern, and if I don't want to do the special stitches, I don't have to. I can just do cross stitches. But I think what an adorable ornament that would be on a 46 count. That sounds good. Let's see. All right, so talking about the remote stitchers earlier, and I talked about FOMO. I talked about, you know, being inspired. somehow the conversation got directed back to Florence Mary Dickinson by Hobby House Needleworks, and Nicola Parkman did this exclusive. And I had been talking to Susan Standley. I'm like, I don't know about those 103s. Do you think they'd work on, should I get a 46 or a 40? Which should I do it on? And so we talked about that for a while. And then I had it in my cart, and then I just sat on my hands for a while. I said, I don't know about that. So then talking to the remote stitchers and realizing that they had all just, at least get the pattern so you have the chart, because it's exclusive. When it's gone, it's gone. And when Nicola Parkman showed this, I was dying. I love everything about it. I love the deer. I love the yellow flower. I love the yellow bow, tie a yellow ribbon. That was a song from my childhood, and I just think it's so pretty. The colors. Okay, so what I did, rather than get the 103s like I thought I was going to do, guess who has a thread pack? It is who is it? It's okay. Victoria Clayton Silks. Okay, so little interjection there. Okay, so it is Victoria Clayton silks that I found, and I didn't want to take them out. They are really pretty. I've worked with her silks before. I really like the way that they handle, and I'm thinking at least a 40 count, but I might do 46 count. Not sure. I did order a platinum Zweigart in 40 count. I've never worked with that before. I don't have it yet, but I know that this was done on Tabby Cat linen, which has a lot of modeling, a lot of variegation, which is really gorgeous too. So I'm not really sure, I'm a big hand-dyed fabric fanatic. I really love it, but I kind of feel like I just want to let the colors play together on a plain neutral background. We shall see. So that was definitely something I'm going to start probably January 1st, and I believe there is a sale going. If you're interested, Hobby House Needleworks, go check them out, see if they still have any more. They might even have kits still, so I'm not really sure. Another FOMO. I could not resist this. Katie Strachan, I love her. I love watching her channel. I love to see all of the things that she's working on. And when she announced that she was going to be having a kit for her angel, I said, sign me up. So I jumped on, and I printed out the directions, and I'm probably going to spiral bind these. It came in this absolutely gorgeous box. Theodora, first of all, you had me at Theodora. I love that name so much. And just how beautiful this box is. And it is so well put together. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, Lord Byron. Ornamentations by Katie Strachan. So gorgeously packaged. Everything in there for me. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All of the completely, separated out. Really clear, beautiful instructions. Everything you could possibly need. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and that's probably something I'm going to try to get done for Christmas this year. It's completely doable. Like I said, I read through it, and I've got to cut out the sequins to make them look that way, but there's templates to do that, so it's not going to be hard. And if you look at her Flosstube and she shows this, the sparkle of this thing is it's amazing. So yes, that concludes all of the haul. I mean, there was a couple trim things, but that's that's for another time. I'm going to wrap this up. So if, like I said, if you'd like to stay and see the Guape exhibit that I had the opportunity to go check out, that will be following this. And in the meantime, have a great November. If I don't come back and see you before Thanksgiving, I wish you so many blessings to all of you that celebrate in the, America, that celebrate Thanksgiving. I hope that you have a very safe, fun holiday. And if you're hosting like I am, take some deep breaths and take lots of pictures. Enjoy the moment. That's what I'm going to try and do. Alrighty, I love you guys. I'm wishing you many peaceful hours with your needle and thread. Bye-bye.